So how do you respond to the arguments of the other two?
Only be paid by the richest, by the millionaires.
In less than 24 hours, one of these men could be running the country.
You make the mistake of the 1930s.
But does the weather play a part in all of this?
You lose businesses.
On first thoughts, the answer seems like no, but Peter Smith from the University of Lincoln says that's not always the case.
I think inevitably there must be some sort of link between the weather and voter turnout. It's not crucial, but it must play a part, yeah. If you're really talking about the really doubtful floating voter, yeah, the choice between going out in the rain or staying in and watching EastEnders, you can sort of understand the choice.
So seeing as the last few elections have been in spring or summer, does that mean the politicians see a link between the weather and voting?
I know a lot of people that have trouble getting out of bed on a sunny day, so a rainy day to vote. I'd probably stay indoors, to be honest, yeah.
People get a lot of lethargy in politics and stuff like that, so if it came to the point where they weren't decided whether they were going to vote or not, and it was raining, they might not do it.
Well, there's one person who should be able to tell us a bit more about this.
Whether they'll be good for the politicians or not, we don't know, but John Ketley will give us a completely dispassionate view.
Keeping politics out of it looks like being a very warm and sunny day across the bulk of the country. After a long, hard winter, especially the last two winters that we've had, you can imagine more of a feel-good factor. That's what the politicians would probably think, and that'll get more people out and about to do the voting. Yes, I'm sure there's almost a link if you go back into the middle of the last century, where it looked like the warmer the weather, the more likely the Tories were going to win. And then Tony Blair comes along in 1997. It was actually a warm day. That was Tony Blair's initial introduction to Downing Street. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
The last Hung Parliament was voted in during the winter of 1974. But when Grantham girl done good, Margaret Thatcher, came to power in 1979, the weather was a little chilly, but the voter turnout was good. So it seems it isn't always the case. Here in Orchard Park, less than half go to the polls. If the weather was awful, would it put you off going to vote?
No, not really. It's only up the road anyway.
Even if there was snow or heavy rain?
Oh, no, I'll still go and vote. Everyone has to vote, don't they?
Would bad weather put you off going to the polls?
No way.
Why not?
Because I think everybody should go vote.
We'll just come a few miles down the road to Cottingham. Voter turnout is higher, but does the weather make a difference? Would bad weather put you off actually going to vote?
No.
Even if it's really atrocious conditions outside?
I'm going to vote no matter what the weather.
I've always voted, but if the weather was that bad, then it reaches a point where it's not worth the journey.
It wouldn't put me off.
Even snow in the middle?
Snow 10 foot high wouldn't put me off.
So have the losers got any excuses?
Of course, weather must have some impact, but it does not make the sort of impact that's going to give somebody an excuse, and whoever loses tomorrow is not going to be able to blame the weather.
Sarah Cruddas, BBC Look North.